Om. 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 Om Sahana Vavatu Sahano Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahe Tejasvinavaditamastu Mavit Vishavahe. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Guru Brahma Gurur Vishnu Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha Gurureva Param Brahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Chinmayam Vyapiyat Sarvam Trailogyam Sacharacharam Tadpadam Darshitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Shri Ram Jaya Jaya Ram. 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 Jaya Jaya Ram. Jaya Sita Ram. Jaya Sita Ram. Syavar Ramachandra ki jai. Pavan Sudha Hanuman ki jai. Bolo Vai Sab Santan ki jai. उमापति महादेव की जय. श्री सद्गुरुनाथ महाराज की जय. Yesterday, we concluded with verse 1, which taught us the first cause of our sorrow. And actually, this is the main cause of our sorrow, which is the self forgetfulness of who I really am, the ignorance of who I really am. My real nature is Sat Chit Ananda, infinite existence, consciousness, everlasting, permanent bliss, which in loose terms we say as happiness, beyond all sorrows. That is what my nature is. But identified, forgetting who I am, identified to this equipment called body, mind, intellect, identified to this whole world, I have created this illusion, this identification, thinking that the happiness is here, forgetting that happiness is myself. I keep looking out into the world outside. And so, as I identify to the world and think happiness is there and have these false expectations and false imaginations, it has created that sorrow when I don't get what I want. So, therefore, one who comes to understand that this world of objects neither have happiness nor sorrow in it, they start to inquire, if there is no sorrow or joy in the world of objects outside, then where is the happiness? If there is only the world and there is me, then there is, if it is not out there, it must be within me. And what is that that creates the sorrow? What is that that brings out the happiness? It is the state of our mind. When our mind is running after something, thinking that happiness is there, the mind is agitated. When the mind has no peace, happiness is not experienced. But the moment the peace comes to our mind, happiness is experienced. So therefore, whether the agitation is there or peace is there, it depends on the mind. But behind it is where the true happiness is. The moment the agitation comes, happiness goes, and only sorrow comes. So therefore, the agitation of the mind is creating the sorrows. Why is the agitation there? Because I think that happiness is in the world outside, in the names and forms, in the objects, situations around me. Not realizing, because I've forgotten that the happiness is me only. So therefore, the student who comes to understand that it is the play of the mind that is creating sorrows, how do I quieten this mind and experience the truth within? Such a student develops the sadhana chatushtaya, which we saw elaborately: viveka vairagya shat sampatti mumukshutvam, viveka vairagya shat sampatti mumukshutvam, and in shat sampatti shama dama uparama titiksha shraddha and samadhanam. So these put together is called sadhana chatushtaya, the fourfold qualification according to Vedanta Shastra. On top of that, humility should be developed, so that when I go approach my teacher, my guru, to gain this knowledge, I must have humility. Knowledge flows to us and understanding comes to us when we are humble. And we should be ready to serve our guru. Our guru serves the world, we serve our guru. The reason for service to the guru is so that we can spend time with the guru, we can tune, at the same time purify ourselves. Because full of selfishness we need to be able to exhaust those vasanas, those desires which are pushing me outwards for selfish reasons. So therefore, able to serve. Have reverence and respect for that guru. The moment we suspect our guru, the reverence is gone, the respect is gone. So therefore, I want what that guru has. And what does my guru have? He has that direct experience of the infinite truth. So therefore, Hanumanji was called as Kapi. Kapi means one who is delighting himself, reveling in that devotion for Sri Rama, who is none other than the Atma Rama, that infinite bliss within. One who is reveling in that infinite self is that Kapi Hanuman. So therefore, we go to that guru through this through our sadhanas, through our seva, through our study, through our reflection, through our practice, we slowly tune to our guru. As we start tuning to the guru, like we tune to the radio station, and as we tune, that universe, that Lord, that infinite, starts to, in our heart, reveal himself to us. And once he reveals himself to us, Anandoham, Anandoham, bliss alone is there. So therefore, our first sorrow created by our ignorance is removed by that direct experience of that infinite truth, with the guidance and direction and support of our guru, which is Sankata Mochana Namatiharo Konahi Janat He Jagame Kapi Sankata Mochana Namatiharo. That one who removes our sorrow is known as Sankat Mochan. And who is that person that has that name? He is nothing but Hanumanji. So therefore, to that Hanumanji, we prostrate. And now we look at the verse number 2. How is sorrow created? What is another way of how our sorrow is created? Even though the cause of all our sorrow is this ignorance of not knowing who we are and how to relate ourselves with the world and really understanding what this world is, that ignorance that we have, the result, the cause of it is ignorance. The solution is go to the Guru with all these qualities and exhaust, tune, and the Lord will reveal to us. Now, another cause of sorrow is given to us in verse number 2. So let us look at verse number 2.
बाली की त्रास कपीस बसै गिरी, बाली की त्रास कपीस बसै गिरी, जात महाप्रभु पंत निहारो, जात महाप्रभु पंत निहारो, चौंकी महामुनि साप दियो तब, चौंकी महामुनि साप दियो तब, चाहिए कौन विचार विचारो, चाहिए कौन विचार विचारो,
के द्विज रूप लिवाई महाप्रभु, के द्विज रूप लिवाई महाप्रभु, सोतम दास के शोक निवारो, सोतम दास के शोक निवारो, को नहीं जानत है जग में कबीर, को नहीं जानत है जग में कबीर, संकट मोचन नाम तिहारो, संकट मोचन नाम तिहारो.
A beautiful verse taking us to an incident where there were two brothers who were Vanaras, half man, half monkey, living in the Kishkinda forest. There, these two brothers, Vali and Sugriva, or Bali and Sugriva. So this Bali and Sugriva were together. Bali was the elder brother, Sugriva was the younger brother. But they were always together. They loved each other. And Bali had this special boon that whoever comes to fight with him, he would get half of their power. That means the opposition becomes weaker by half. And that half gets added to Bali, and Bali gets extra power. So this special power Bali had. And they were living very peacefully in Kishkinda. Bali was the king, Sugriva was the crown prince. And of course, as to protect the forest, the kingdom, many fights would take place. And there was one evil demon, Mayavi, a demon called Dundubi. And Dundubi was killed by Vali, and he took that corpse, the dead body, and he threw it, or he kicked it so far away that it went and fell near a Rishi's ashram in Rishamuk Parvat, where a great Rishi lived. An ashram was there. And on that mountain, he fell. So the Rishi, hearing about and seeing this atrocious situation of a dead body thrown to the ashram, he cursed that if Vali ever came to Rishamuk Parvat, he will get destroyed. He will die. So this curse was on Vali. But Vali continued serving the kingdom, etc., with Sugriva, harmoniously with Jambavan, Hanuman, all of them were part of the kingdom, his ministers. They were all serving with Vali. One day, this Dundubi's brother called Mayavi, this demon, he came and challenged Bali. And he came in the evening. See, demons or negative tendencies become stronger at night. Therefore, satsang is very important at night. Spending time in good auspicious thing is very important. So this Mayavi gets very powerful at night. But he came and challenged Vali. And any Kshatriya, any warrior, when he's challenged, he ready to accept the challenge. But Sugriva said, "Oh brother, it is not the right time to go and fight because this Mayavi will get strength at night, more powerful. Right? Why don't you go and fight in the morning?" But Vali was so interested in showing that in anger. Vali said, "No, no, it's okay, brother. I will go and fight. Because I have that power to take half of the other power. So therefore, I will be very strong." And this Mayavi knew that to fight with Vali, it's going to take a long time because Vali was very powerful. So therefore, even during the day also he has to fight, but during the day power will reduce. So therefore, he decides to go into the deepest part of the cave where it is so dark so that he can maintain his power and called Vali for that battle. So Vali, before entering into the cave, tells his brother, "Oh Sugriva, I'm going to go into this cave. Surely I'm going to win. But if I don't come out in 2 weeks, please go and look after the kingdom. Know that I have died." Sugriva said, "But brother, don't go," because Sugriva's love for his brother was genuine. But his brother said, "It's okay, Sugriva, I must do what I have to do." And Vali went. And Sugriva stood outside the cave, mouth of the cave, waiting. An intense fight started inside, deep inside. And 2 weeks has passed, and Vali had not come. But Sugriva said, "No, no, but I can't leave like that." Right? So Sugriva waited for another 2 weeks. 1 month has passed. And Sugriva was feeling anxious. How come my brother has not come out yet? And then he saw a pool of blood flowing out of the cave. And at that time, Sugriva felt, "Oh, my brother must have died." So before leaving the cave, because in case that Mayavi comes out, what if he can kill Vali, who is so powerful, what will happen to the rest of the kingdom? So therefore, Sugriva closes the mouth of the cave with a big boulder so that Mayavi cannot come out. And Sugriva came back to the kingdom. And he told to the ministers and the council of wise people that this is what has happened. And this is what he has done. What must he do? In situations where you don't know what to do, you don't know is the right actions to do, you must ask wise counsel, the wise people. So in life, we must always have some people who we can trust, that we can ask. And whatever they say, because our intellect is not working, we are not able to make that decision due to our emotions, that person becomes our intellect. And you know very well that that person will give you the right knowledge to bring your intellect back into action also. But till that happens, they need to act like the intellect for us. So therefore, he asked the wise brahmanas, the wise people there. And so the ministers and the wise people said, "What you have done is correct. Now, before take up the kingdom and start ruling, because a king is required." So Sugriva was crowned as king. And as things were going on, within a few days after that, Vali appears. And Vali, seeing that his brother is sitting on the throne, Vali got angry. He said, "How dare you take my seat?" Vali has forgotten everything that he has told Sugriva to do in 2 weeks, lock up everything. Sugriva tries to explain. Vali does not want to hear anything about it. And he drags Sugriva down and beats him. And And obviously Vali has that boon that half the power comes. So Sugriva, knowing this, started running out. And Vali was chasing him, but Sugriva was quick. He ran. And with him went some of the ministers, including Hanumanji. They went to, and the only place they knew that Vali could not come was Rishamuk Parvat. So they went and they stayed in the mountains, in the Rishamuk Parvat. And Sugriva was always scared. Even though he was spending time with wise people, he was in that near the ashram there learning, etc., in satsang, etc., he always had this fear that our Vali will come to attack him. Even though he knew Vali cannot come, but he always had this doubt that maybe he will send spies to come and kill him, assassins to come. So he was really, really worried. But with Hanumanji, Jambavanji, all that, they made him calm down, etc. But that fear was always underlying behind. So one day, had it that two young, handsome princes, princely looking ascetics came. One was dark in complexion and one was fair in complexion. They looked like majestic princes, but they adorned the ascetic look. They had bows and arrows, but they looked peaceful and calm. So Sugriva was confused. Is this really ascetics or are these spies of Vali? So at that moment, in that fear, he looks towards Hanumanji, says, "Oh Hanuman, who are these people? Why are they coming? Can you go and find out?" So Hanumanji disguises himself as a local, because it was ashram area, many satsangs, etc. were going on, that he disguised himself as a young Brahmana, young Brahmin boy. And he went. And when he went, he put his hands together and he looked down at the feet of the Lord. And he said, "Such soft feet you have, both have. You're walking on this rough stones, etc. But at the same time, you look so majestic. You look so majestic. And so are you a prince? Or are you an ascetic? Are you Nara and Narayana, the avatars of Lord Narayana and Sheshnag? Or are you both either Brahma, Vishnu or Mahesh? The Trinity, two of the Trinity. Who are you?" Looking at the first as a devotee of the Lord, where did his eyes go? His eyes went to the feet of the Lord. That is where devotee always looks. So he asked these questions. And Bhagavan, looking at Hanumanji, and Hanumanji looking at Bhagavan. And at that time, Hanumanji asks, "Who are you?" Now Hanumanji is in disguise. So at that time, Bhagavan does not reveal himself. Bhagavan says, we are the sons of, I am Rama, the son of Dashrath Maharaj. That is Lakshmana, my brother. So we are both sons of Dashratha. We have come looking for my wife Janaki, Sita, who has been kidnapped by Ravana. And so we are not sure where she is. So therefore we have come looking. So we look towards help. And the moment Bhagavan says this, and he says, Bhagavan says, and who are you, by the way? And that moment when Bhagavan asked him the question, who are you? At that moment, Hanumanji remembers the words of his Guru. His Guru was Surya Devata. And Lord Surya had said to Hanumanji, go and serve Sugriva, and Lord will come to you. And hence Hanumanji had come and waited and served. By the instructions of his Guru, he served. And this thought ringed in his mind. And then he saw the Lord. And seeing this Lord, he falls at the feet of Bhagavan and holds on to the feet and he cries, "Oh Lord!" And keeps looking at that charming face of Sri Rama and holding on to the feet of the Lord. And then he says, "Oh Lord, I am a jiva. I am finite. I don't recognize you. But you are the infinite Lord, all-knowing truth. Why did you not reveal yourself to me? I am a jiva. I don't know. I'm a mere man. Right? But you know who you are. Why didn't you reveal yourself to me?" And looking at that Lord, Hanumanji clasping the feet of the Lord, he says, "Oh Lord, I am your servant. You are the master. I am this finite jiva. You are the infinite truth. And my only duty is to serve you in everything in this universe." So therefore, as he keeps on crying and he says, "Oh Lord," and as Hanumanji kept on saying this, his disguise started falling off. And Hanumanji became his real nature, that kapi, that monkey. And as Hanumanji dropped his disguise, Bhagavan Rama reveals his infinite nature to him. Now, why, if we pause and ask, why is it that Bhagavan does not reveal his true nature to Hanumanji at the beginning? The reason is, we must go to the Lord without any mask. Then the Lord will reveal. Whenever we go, even as an individual seeking anything from the Lord, not moksha but anything else, we go with this mask, this facade that we put on, and we go towards Him. Do we go as ourselves? Don't pretend. Be you and go to Him. Hanumanji holds on to that feet of the Lord and he cries, "I have so many faults." So therefore, go to the Lord without pretending. Know what your faults are. Know what your limitations are. Know what your incapabilities are. Know that your body, mind, intellect is limited. That body, mind, intellect, having purified, having tuned to each other, having been single-pointedly in contemplation of that infinite truth, that intellect, having gone through all reasons, that mind, total full of devotion, that mind and intellect, integrated in that seat of contemplation, it comes to understand that it is still limited. But having shed everything else in the seat of meditation, what is it that we have to do? We draw from the world in the seat of meditation. We draw from the identification to the body. We draw from the mind agitations. We draw from the outlooking senses and get that intellect and mind integrated in contemplation. Having removed everything I am not, that prakriti that we talked about, exhausting those vasanas and those selfish desires. And the only desire I have, that mukshuttam, is to know that Lord. But yet, my intellect, which is integrated with the mind, is not able to see it. With that mind and intellect, cry out to the Lord. Oh Lord, I cannot. I am so limited. Please help me. And in that cry, that final shedding of our conditionings drop. And that Lord which we cannot see reveals himself to us. Hanumanji revels in that joy of Ananda, that supreme bliss. And hence, Honahi Janat He Jagame Kapi Sankata Mochana Namatihar. Because Hanumanji, having experienced that infinite bliss, becomes one with that infinite Lord. That Hanumanji looks at himself and looks at Bhagavan and says, Oh Bhagavan, please come and meet Sugriva. Sugriva is hiding from his brother Vali, who is after him. It is no fault of Sugriva. He has done all the right things, followed all the dharma, but his brother, out of his own misconceptions and agitations, he is trying to kill Sugriva. So therefore, Lord, please come. And Hanumanji, taking Lakshmana and Rama on his shoulders, climbs the mountain. Now, from now on, completely surrendered to Bhagavan, Hanumanji takes him there. And what is the purpose of Hanumanji? Is to bring relief to Sugriva. What is Sugriva's agitation? Fear of he's dying from his brother. Living in that fear. Even though he was living in Rishamukh Parvat in satsang, he was scared. So therefore, our Hanumanji takes Sri Rama and Lakshmana to Sugriva. And he creates a friendship. He creates love between them, devotion. And this is the purpose of a guru. Guru's job, if you say, is to unite the jiva with the infinite Lord. And how does he do that? He has to create that love between the student and the Lord. And for that, the Guru teaches him the knowledge, gives him the seva, gives him the tools to create that devotion and knowledge in the heart. The example that is given is Sugriva is like a wood. And Bhagavan, the consciousness, is the life giver. So inert wood, which is the inert body, with life in it, is what we experience. But we think we are this body, mind, and intellect. We don't recognize the consciousness in us. So therefore the Guru's job is to take our identification from the body, mind, intellect, matter layers to that consciousness, which is what really gives life to everything. So therefore our true friendship has to be built. So therefore Hanumanji is that which creates that friendship between the Jiva and the Infinite Lord. So that wood, inert consciousness, the fire that love starts. But the fan is the Guru who keeps the blaze going so that the fire becomes and consumes everything. So therefore, this friendship was built between Bhagavan and Sugriva. Now, Bhagavan instructs Sugriva that you now go and fight with Vali. Go and challenge him for a battle. Vali said, but how can I fight with my brother? And so Bhagavan said, I am with you. Go. But Vali is so powerful. This is what our condition is in life. Our Guru is with us. Guru is showing Bhagavan that relationship with Bhagavan also. But we have more faith in the world outside than our own Guru and the Lord. The Lord is always with us, but our faith is in something else. So therefore, Bhagavan had to prove himself. Instead of us proving our love and our faith in God, we are making God prove himself. So Bhagavan, with one arrow, takes that carcass of Dundubi and throws it back into near Vali's place, far away. But Sugriva did not get convinced. Sugriva said, Are, my brother can kick it and it came here. You had to use a weapon to do it. No faith at all. So then Bhagavan, taking an arrow, he shoots these 7 deodar trees, huge trees. He cut it into size, and then the arrow came back to his quiver. Then Sugriva said, Are, this Lord is very powerful. So convinced with this, Sugriva goes and challenges Vali. And Vali, hearing this notorious fellow, this Sugriva, you have come to fight? How dare you? And he was about to come out. At that time, Sugriva's, Vali's wife, Tara, says, Vali, don't go out. Please understand, I've heard that 2 princes have come, and I've heard that is the Lord only. And the Lord has come. Don't go out there. And he's supporting Sugriva. And at that time, Vali says, if it is the Lord, Lord has no partiality. So therefore, Lord will not do anything to me. But remember, Vali unjustly has taken back the kingdom, put a death warrant on Sugriva for no reason, and stolen Sugriva's wife, who is like a daughter for the elder brother of Sugriva. The brother's wife is like a daughter, but has kidnapped her and kept her also for himself in an incorrect manner. So therefore, adharma is being done. So therefore, Bhagavan doesn't support adharma. But Vali is not listening. Vali said, Bhagavan is impartial. I'm right. Anyway, who has said whenever they are wrong, has anybody admitted they are wrong? And if anybody admitted they are wrong, people will only laugh at them and look down on them. It's actually very courageous for somebody to admit their mistake. It shows their sense of purity. But how many people? So Vali goes out. And a big fight starts. And Vali beats up Sugriva. Hey, Sugriva, getting enough blows, in bleeding and with pain, he runs back to Bhagwan. He says, Bhagwan, why have you not done anything? And Bhagwan said, Are, I could not distinguish between you and your brother because you both look alike. Oh, Sugriva said, Bhagwan, what to do? I have broken. Anyway, had to get healed a little. And then Bhagwan said, Sugriva, again go. Sugriva said, no, no, no. Again, no faith in Bhagwan. So Bhagwan said, Sugriva. And he takes his garland and he puts it on Sugriva. And says, Sugriva, this is the victory garland. Now go and fight, and victory will be yours. Because before when he went, Sugriva did not have faith. Sugriva had this sense of, oh, I will do arrogance that I'm going to be able to beat. I have got Lord on my side. One should not go to fight with arrogance, with ego. One should only do dharma. Even in Gita it is told, why was Bhagavan supporting Arjuna? He was supporting Arjuna because Arjuna was following dharma. If Arjuna was following adharma, Bhagavan would not have supported him. And at the same time, why did Bhagavan give Gita to Arjuna? So that Arjuna understands why he is fighting. He is not fighting for revenge. He is only fighting to uphold dharma. So therefore, give up that sorrows, give up that agitation, give up that anger, and do your dharma. So therefore, our Sugriva now, having ego settled, he's total faith in Bhagavan, he now goes. And again he challenges. And Vali's wife Tara said, but Vali, don't go. Who can? I'm going. I'm going to beat this fellow and I'm going to make chutney out of him. He goes out. And from behind, Bhagavan shoots and kills Vali. Now, who is this Vali? What is this sorrow that is created to us? Vali is none other than our karmas. Karmas means actions we've done in the past, results that are coming now, is called our karmas. And because of our karmas, we are constantly suffering or not. When good things happen, oh, so good. But good things also end. Sorrow. Bad things happen. Oh, why this to me? Sorrow. So therefore, this karma gives joy and sorrow, problem or not. Finally leading to sorrow. And when a situation comes in front of us, every situation that comes in front of us is due to past action or not. You had to come and sit in front of this YouTube channel for you to watch the talks. So you must have done action to get the result. Similarly, past actions produces good or bad results in the present, or later on it will come, whatever we've done in the past. So therefore, these are called karmas. And when these situations come in front of me, does it not zap away my energy? When a good thing happens, I get so elated, my mind again becomes agitated, energy is sucked away. And we all know when a difficult situation, a negative situation, a situation we did not expect comes in front of us, isn't our energy gone? We don't know what to do. We become depressed, dejected. All these problems come or not? So, therefore, this Vali represents our karmas. And we should not run away from our karma, but we must face it. Because whatever I have done, only it is coming. Nothing more and nothing less. So therefore, how do I face it? Because it seems like when situations come, I am not able to handle it. My mind is so agitated. My intellect is not working. What do I do? So therefore, one must go to Rishabh Parvat, where the Guru is, and be in satsang. And satsang is the place where you are protected. Even right now, sitting in this classroom, listening, if we are so tuned to it, our problems and situations that we have outside becomes very minimal or it disappears. This is what satsang does. Those of you who have spent time with Puja Swamiji and Puja Guruji, Guruji Gurudev, when you're in their presence, for that period of time that we have been together, we feel free, we feel joyous, we feel happy, as though there is no sorrows in the world. That is why it is called satsang. So when we are in satsang with saints and sages, with devotees of the Lord, with our Guru, we are protected. Our karmas weaken. Means our strength, we are able to rise above, and the situations around us look small. They give you that inspiration, that energy, that power to rise. And the karmas weaken. There's a beautiful story that is told to us in the scriptures of one man. He was an utter miser. And this man never gave any in charity. But he allowed his wife to go to satsangs. Allowed means she was free to go to satsangs, etc. But he would never go. He would never spend money. He was such a miser. Because if he goes, he will think that people will ask him for donation, etc. So he would not go. But she would. One day he had gone to pick her up, and the satsang had not finished yet. But given that the loudspeakers are so loud, as he had come to that place, he could hear the master, the teacher, the guru, was talking about the law of karmas. And he said, and what he can understand, said, when the time of death comes and when you go to Yamaraj, and when you're given a choice between heaven and hell, choose heaven. And the satsang finished. Now, a few days later, this man was at home, day off, and somebody had come to gain bhiksha, food. A beggar had come. And the lady of the house, his wife, came. She had not cooked the rice, but she had put the rice for soaking. So she took a handful and she put it into the bowl of the beggar. And the beggar blessed her so loudly, all blessings. May good things come to your family. May you all be prosperous, etc. Blessings was going on. At that time, our miser hears this blessing and he comes out, storming out, and he sees that this beggar has got the rice in his hands, in his bowl. And the miser puts his hand in the bowl and takes it and he throws it. That you are a beggar, you should be working hard. Why are you eating of my hard work? Anyway, the beggar blessed him and the beggar went. Few weeks later, this miser died. And he went to heaven. He went to Yamaloka. And Yamaraj, going through the paperwork with Chitragupta, who is his assistant, going through all the paperwork, they could not find anything that was good. Because this man has never done anything good in charity. Anything good he has not done. So, nothing was saying, and Yamaraj is saying, something this must have done before he can pronounce the verdict. And suddenly, there was some signal in the computer, and there it was that he had given 1 grain of rice to a beggar, and that also unconsciously. So Yamaraj said, wow, what a miser. So he said to the man, You have 15 minutes in heaven because you unconsciously gave 1 grain of rice to the beggar in charity. And you have 1 million years in hell. What would you like to do? Where would you like to go first? And at that moment, our beggar remembered. Remembered what? What he had heard very briefly in that. Not that he went for satsang, but to pick up his voice there, that grace of that Guru in that satsang. In whatever choice you have, choose heaven. So immediately he says, I will go to heaven. So Yamaraj said, okay, but you have 15 minutes. He went to heaven. And when he went to heaven, what a place heaven was. Heaven was such a beautiful place. So he sat on the side and he started crying. He said, for 1 grain of unconsciously giving in charity to that beggar, I have 15 minutes in such an amazing place. I should have given sacks and sacks of rice and stuff to the beggar. I could have spent more time here. What to do? I messed up, cried. At that time, one sadhu was walking past. And sadhus are very compassionate people. So he looked at that person, to the miser, and said, oh person, oh dear, why are you crying? Nobody cries in heaven. He explained the story. So sadhu being very compassionate, again, association with the sadhu. Sadhu says, I will give you a secret. Go, there's a satsang going on there. Go and sit in satsang. And in that satsang, and don't leave it. Stay there. Then they can't touch you. Who can't touch you? Yamaraj's people. So this man quickly runs and goes and sits in satsang. And for months he was sitting in satsang and listening. And he did not leave it. Now here this side, Yamaraj's people are waiting at the gates of an announcement is going on. Come on, Mr. Miser, come on, time to leave. You're overstayed your stay, visa is expired, come on. But nobody can enter. They even called Yamaraj. Yamaraj couldn't do anything. Because he is in satsang. In satsang you are protected. That is the law of the scriptures. The law of the universe. So immediately they summoned, they prayed to Lord Vishnu, and Lord Vishnu appeared in satsang. And Lord Vishnu said, oh man, you have, and showed him a list of all the sins that 1 million years of bad karma, he has to go and go to hell. Your 50 minutes is long due, get up. And this man looked at Bhagavan, bowed down to Bhagavan and said, oh Bhagavan, I have understood one thing sitting in satsang. And listening to this satsang, I have reformed. And I learned one thing. And what is it that I have learned? That one cannot gain the vision of the Lord if one has these karmas and these vasanas in them. Right? Until they end, we can't get the vision of God. And conversely, the Lord's vision, when you see the Lord, whatever is left over blemish disappears. All sins get burnt away. So therefore, I am seeing you, Bhagavan. So therefore, all my sins, my karmas have gone. And Lord, looking at this man, smiled. And he instructed Yamadutas and Yamaraj, this man does not need to go to hell. He doesn't need to stay in heaven also. He will come back with me. So what is the result of satsang? Is that we are able to face our karmas with the inner strength, with that faith that my Lord is with me to protect me. It insulates us. It reduces our stresses, it removes our stress, our anxiety, our worries, our regrets, our excitements, calms us down and gives us the strength to deal with it. And as we spend time in our satsang with our Guru, following the instructions of our Guru, and through that process of purification, we start tuning towards that Guru. And as we start tuning to the Guru, slowly, slowly, the Lord in our heart becomes more and more visible. And finally and completely, that vision of that Lord completely destroys all our karmas. And with that karmas goes all our sorrows. And we gain that infinite bliss. So therefore, our karmas are overcome. Our karmas are weakened by our satsang. So therefore, don't neglect spending time in satsang. Whenever you get opportunity to be with saints and sages, spend time with your Guru. Spend time. Because without even knowing our vasanas, which is our result also of the results outside, the reactions to it is our vasanas. The results is our karmas. So both get exhausted, burnt away. That purification starts happening as we associate with our Guru, serving our Guru, learning from our Guru, practicing from our Guru, being humble, revering, respecting in that love for that Lord. We will purify. And as we purify, more and more that Lord shines more and more in our hearts. So therefore, don't give up your satsang. Satsang, and in Bhajagovitam Shankaracharya says, Satsangatve nirsangatvam, nirsangatve nirmohatvam, nirmohatve nischalatatvam, nischalatatve jivan mukti. One who is in satsang weakens one's karmas and lifts oneself to the higher and comes to realize one's own true self, that Lord in the heart, and ever becomes blissful. So therefore, who is that Guru that helps me to reach this? Who is that has helped me to remove my sorrows? Who is that has helped Sugriva remove his sorrows? Who is that has brought that friendship and love towards the Lord between the Jiva and the Lord, that Sugriva and Sri Rama? Who is that has brought that friendship and love? Who has removed the sorrows of and removed the karmas which created the sorrows of Sugriva? Is none other than that Kapi, who is already reveling in that Lord, that Hanumanji. So therefore, if we pray to that Hanumanji, will he not come as our Guru to help us connect to our infinite Lord? Therefore, kone hi janat he jagame kapi sankata mochana namati haro. O Lord Hanumanji, please help us to remove our sorrows.